Dear students, today we are concluding our chapter amines. As you know, we have discussed yesterday some chemical reactions of aromatic and aliphatic amines. Today we are going to discuss some more chemical reactions of the same, that is aliphatic and aromatic amines, and then the method of separation of these. Then we will finalize this particular chapter. So the next section is oxidation reaction, and oxidation of amine, if I am particularly talking about aliphatic as well as the aromatic amines, it will depend upon the type of amine, and it will also depend upon the oxidizing agent that we have selected for the oxidation reaction. For example, you can see on the screen that this is basically a tertiary amine, and when this tertiary amine will undergo oxidation reaction with hydrogen peroxide or peroxycarboxylic acids, then it will get converted into N-amine oxides, right? So we just started with the oxidation reaction, and when we talk about the important points, the oxidation in case of aliphatic amines, it will depend upon the type of amine, which type of amine we have selected, and the type of oxidizing agents we have selected for the reaction, like hydrogen peroxide, per acid is also there, KMnO4, potassium permanganate, potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7, etc., etc. So first we discussed about the tertiary amine. So tertiary amine on oxidation will get converted into oxides, N-amine oxides, right? When we talk about the primary amines, at that time we can see on the screen that the primary amines on oxidation, they will finally get converted into nitro compounds through a sequence of reaction. And what is that sequence? The sequence is the amine will get converted into hydroxylamine. After further oxidation, the hydroxylamine will get converted into nitroso compound. This is nitroso compound, and finally nitroso compound on further oxidation will get converted into nitro compounds, right? So when we talk about primary amines finally will get converted into nitro compounds through hydroxylamine formation and nitroso compound formation. Further, you can see an example on the screen that this is basically a primary amine, and this primary amine is basically having carbon, and that carbon is attached with 3 carbons more. So this is basically a tertiary carbon atom. When this particular amine is oxidized with potassium permanganate, you are getting the nitro compound in excellent yield. The yield is around 70 to 85%, right? So this is the example that how the primary amine on oxidation is getting converted into nitro compound. And we can also see that if this tertiary carbon is also attached with that NH2 group, at that time the yield will also be maximum, the yield will also be excellent. So that is another factor on which this particular thing will depend. We were talking about different type of oxidizing agents, and you can see that this is one of the example of the oxidizing agent. When we talk about some different oxidizing agent like we can also oxidize the amines by using Carrot's acid, that is H2SO5. So at that time, the amine, especially the primary amine, will get converted into hydroxamic acid, that may get converted into aldoxine, and you may also obtain hydroxylamine from that one. You can also obtain this nitroso compound, and finally you can also obtain the nitro compound, right? So that can also be synthesized by changing the different type of the oxidizing agent for this particular reaction. For example, this is a case in which you are getting this nitro compound in excellent yield. Now what will happen if we don't have this kind of carbon in any of the substrate? At that time, what will happen? For example, we are having RCH2NH2, and that RCH2NH2 is oxidized by using KMnO4. At that time, that will produce aldimine, and that aldimine on oxidation, on hydrolysis, not oxidation, the oxidation is the first process, on hydrolysis with water molecule, that will get converted into aldehyde. Means if we are having this type of the substrate in which we are having this tert-butyl group attached with the NH2 functional group, at that time you are getting NO2 group in the excellent yield. But on the same way, if you are having RCH2NH2 type of substrate, at that time you will get the aldehyde as the major product of the oxidation reaction. So that is the oxidation in case of aliphatic system. That was with Carrot's acid we have explained, with KMnO4 we have explained the different type of substrate will have different type of the product, that will depend upon the type of substrate, that will also depend upon the type of oxidizing agent. Now we will come to the oxidation of the aromatic amines. When we are particularly concerned about the oxidation of aromatic amines, you know that aniline, that is colorless if we talk about the pure aniline. But when we talk about impure aniline, means if that aniline is allowed to stand for some days, it will become colored, right? And this color is appearing because of oxidation product, because of the aerial oxidation of that particular aniline, right? So when we talk about the oxidation of this particular aromatic system, at that time again we will have different type of oxidizing agents, and that different type of oxidizing agents will produce different type of the products. For example, when we talk about the oxidation of aniline with alkaline solution of KMnO4, at that time you will get azobenzene as the final product, and that azobenzene will be synthesized through a sequence of reaction. Means first of all the aniline will converted into phenyl hydroxylamine, which further be converted into nitrosobenzene, and this nitrosobenzene will further converted into azobenzene in presence of alkaline KMnO4. When the same aniline is oxidized by using Carrot's acid H2SO5, at that time nitrobenzene will be the major product. This is the difference between the oxidizing agent. With the same substrate we are having different oxidizing agents and we are getting different products, right? So this is the importance of this oxidation reaction, right? With alkaline KMnO4 we are getting azobenzene, and with Carrot's acid we are getting nitrobenzene, right? One more thing, when aniline is oxidized by using potassium dichromate, acidified potassium dichromate, specifically I am telling you that acidified potassium dichromate, at that time benzoquinone, parabenzoquinone will be the main product, right? You can see it on the screen as well. That is para-benzoquinone is the main product. You can see some of the product that this is your aniline. On oxidation will get converted into this hydroxylamine, and this on further oxidation will get converted into nitroso compound, and this on further oxidation will get converted into nitrobenzene. So this is a case of Carros acid, and when we use alkaline potassium KMnO4, at that time it will get converted into azobenzene. From here it will be changed, right? So this is the beauty of this particular reaction, that oxidation of the aromatic amines. There is another reaction with carbon disulfide, and when the particular amine is allowed to react with the carbon disulfide, at that time finally you are getting isothiocyanate as the main product. And this is a case of reaction that first the lone pair of electron on the nitrogen will attack on this particular carbon with movement of electron from carbon to sulfur to form S negative, and then finally it will accept hydrogen from this well and will get converted into SH, and finally it will lose the H2S and will get converted into isothiocyanate, right? So this is the product when amines are subjected to reaction with carbon disulfide. Next reaction is reaction with aldehydes and ketones. When we talk about reactions with aldehyde and ketone, at that time we can clearly say that I think this reaction you have already studied in the chapter aldehyde and ketones. So at that time we can divide the amines into primary, secondary and tertiary. So it will have a different mode of reaction with aldehyde and ketones, and that mode of reaction will depend upon the type of amines. For example, first of all we are discussing about the primary amines, and the primary amines react with aldehyde and ketones and they will yield the Skips base. They will produce the Skips base. For example, this is your ketone, and when this ketone is subjected to react with this primary amine, at that time it is get converted into this type of product, and this is imine that have been synthesized. Now what is the mechanism for this particular reaction? That the reaction will start with the nucleophilic attack of this lone pair of electron on the nitrogen on this particular carbonyl carbon, and when it will attack at this particular carbonyl carbon, at that time this particular bond will be shifted towards O negative to form the O negative, and then there will be a proton transfer, and when proton transfer is occurring here, it will be converted into OH, and finally this OH will accept proton from this particular species and will get converted into OH2 positive, and finally water molecule will be eliminated out, forming carbon nitrogen double bond, right? And finally this hydrogen will be eliminated out from here, and this will get converted into imine. So this is the reaction of primary amine with aldehyde or ketones. When we talk about the secondary amine, at that time we can see that the product will be enamine, right? For example, this is a case of secondary amine, and this is your aldehyde. So when this is subjected to react with this one, it will give rise to an enamine. So how this enamine has been synthesized? The reaction will start with the nucleophilic attack of this particular lone pair of electron on the nitrogen to the carbonyl carbon, and then finally after this attack the same step has been repeated, and when there is a proton transfer, it is get converted into OH, and this will finally abstract the hydrogen H positive, and after this one water molecule will be eliminated out, and this will get converted into C double bond N. Now in the previous reaction you have seen that there is hydrogen at that time, and hydrogen was being eliminated out, but here you are having R group, so that cannot be eliminated out. So the hydrogen from this particular place, that is with this particular aldehyde or ketone, it will be eliminated out, and this will get converted into enamine finally. So this will be the product of this particular reaction, that is enamine formation with reaction with secondary amine. So this is the reaction of amines with different type of the reagent, different type of the compounds. Now we will come to the separation of mixture of this primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Means how we can separate it out, because separation is very important process in this particular case if we are particularly concerned about. So there are generally three methods by which we can separate primary, secondary and tertiary amines, and these methods are fractional distillation, Hofmann method and Hinsberg separation of amines, Hinsberg separation method. When we are talking about fractional distillation method, this is basically a method in which the mixture of amine that have been separated, separated by using different fractionating columns, right? This is the industrial method of separation of this particular amine, and this is highly efficient method, and we generally have different fractionating columns, and on the basis of difference in the boiling point of primary, secondary and tertiary amines, the separation is being carried out, right? So basically the fractional distillation method is an industrial method, and in this method we generally separate three classes of amine, and the separation is based on the difference in the boiling point of the three amines, right? So this is the first method by which you can separate a mixture of primary, secondary and tertiary amines. The second method is the Hofmann method, and on the screen you can see that how this separation is being carried out. This is your primary amine. So first of all, the mixture is treated with diethyl oxalate. When this is treated with diethyl oxalate, at that time different type of amines react differently with diethyl oxalate, and they will have different type of the products. For example, on the screen you can see that primary amine on reaction with diethyl oxalate will get converted into dialkyl oxaamide, and this is solid. When the same reagent, that is diethyl oxalate, is allowed to react with the secondary amine, at that time you can see that dialkyl oxamic ester will be prepared, will be synthesized, and this is liquid in nature. And when we talk about the tertiary amine doesn't react at all with diethyl oxalate, because there is no replaceable hydrogen in case of tertiary amines. So you have seen that in a mixture, that for example these three type of amines are present into the same beaker at that time. One will have a solid component, the second one is liquid, that is ester has been synthesized, and in the first one you are having dialkyl oxaamide, that is solid, it is nature. Now we will recover the amines after its reaction, and how this amine is recovered. The mixture first of all will be distilled, and when distillation is being done, the tertiary amine, which is volatile, that will distill over and will be collected. Now in the mixture, in the complex, you are having a solid component and you are having a liquid component. The liquid one is dialkyl oxamic ester and the solid component is dialkyl oxamide. Now they will be separated by simple filtration method, and after simple filtration method the primary and secondary amines will be recovered from the product that have been synthesized by the reaction that we have just explained. And how we can do the recovery? This is your dialkyl oxamide. To this we generally add potassium hydroxide, and when this is allowed to react with potassium hydroxide, it will give rise to potassium oxalate and primary amine, and it can be distilled, right? So this is the recovery of the primary amine from dialkyl oxamide. And from dialkyl oxamic ester, similarly, that is also allowed to react with the potassium hydroxide, in which the secondary amine will be separated, leaving behind the ethanol and potassium oxalate. So from that particular mixture, in the initial stage you have separated the tertiary amine, and later on you have separated the primary amine and the secondary amine. So this method is the Hofmann method of separation of primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Now we will come to our next method, and this method is Hinsberg's method, and this is very important method of separation of primary, secondary and tertiary amines. In this method you can see it on the screen that the mixture of amines is treated with benzene sulfonyl chloride, and this benzene sulfonyl chloride is called as Hinsberg reagent, followed by 5% aqueous potassium hydroxide solution, and you will have different type of the product that have been synthesized, and how different kind of the products will be synthesized by using different type of amine is given in the next slide. For example, what will happen in case we have used Hinsberg reagent and that is allowed to react with primary amine? This is your Hinsberg reagent, that is benzyl sulfonyl chloride, and when this is subjected to allowed to react with this primary amine or NH2, at that time it will form N-alkyl benzene sulfonamide, right? This N-alkyl benzene sulfonamide on reaction with potassium hydroxide will get converted into water soluble salt, that is it will form a clear solution. This is basically potassium salt and water soluble salt, and there will be a clear solution of this one. The second one, that reaction of secondary amine with Hinsberg reagent, when this is allowed to react with this particular Hinsberg reagent, at that time you can see that it is forming NN dialkyl benzene sulfonamide, right? NN dialkyl benzene sulfonamide, and this is insoluble in potassium hydroxide, right? So it will be insoluble, and the first reaction that the primary amine will be soluble, and this is the case of reaction of tertiary amines. When we talk about tertiary amines, this is the case that there is no reaction at all here. So there will be no apparent change in this particular case, right? So when we talk about the reaction, this is the case of reaction that basically the different type of amines react differently with benzene sulfonyl chloride, then followed by reaction with potassium hydroxide. They will have different type of the product. One will be water soluble and the second one will be water insoluble, and the third, that is tertiary amine, will be unreacted at all. It will not have any reaction. Now we will extract it, and on extraction, now the three reactions has been completed. Now we will come to the recovery of these amines. So for recovery, we just do the extraction with ether, and when we extract the mixture with ether, at that time the tertiary amine and dialkyl benzene sulfonamide, that is insoluble in aqueous potassium hydroxide, that will be pass over to the ether layer, while the first one, that is potassium monoalkyl sulfonamide, that is the product that have been synthesized from this particular amine, this one, as this is water soluble, it will go into the aqueous layer. Now we will have two different layers, one is aqueous and the second one is ether layer. We will separate these two layers and then we will start the recovery. You can see that in the recovery phase, from aqueous layer this have been separated out, and this is allowed to react with HCl, distill with hydrogen chloride, and on distillation it will get converted into monoalkyl sulfonamide. After formation of this one, this water insoluble, that is monoalkyl sulfonamide, it will be hydrolyzed, and after its hydrolysis it will get converted into RNH2HCl, that is primary amine hydrochloride, and finally the primary amine hydrochloride on basification by using sodium hydroxide will get converted into primary amine. So this is the overall process, that this is the primary amine. First of all, it react with the Hinsberg reagent and it will get converted into this particular product, which on reaction with potassium hydroxide will be converted into a water soluble salt, which on further reaction with HCl, then hydrolysis, and finally on basification will converted into RNH2, that is primary amine. This is the recovery of primary amine by using Hinsberg method. When we talk about the recovery of secondary amine, at that time we can see that in the ether layer you are having the secondary amine as well as the tertiary amine. So first of all we will do the distillation. At that time distillation will happen and tertiary amine will be distilled over first. So now we are having only some complex of the secondary amine in the ether solution. Now that will be recovered, and how that can be recovered? That can be recovered by using basically when this dialkyl sulfonamide is allowed to react with water in presence of concentrated HCl, means with hydrolysis it will get converted into benzene sulfonic acid and the secondary amine hydrochloride, similar to the first reaction in which we are getting the primary amine hydrochloride. Here we are getting the secondary amine hydrochloride, and this secondary amine hydrochloride on reaction with sodium hydroxide on basification will get converted into secondary amine, right? So this is the overall recovery, that this is is non-reactable, so it will be distilled over in the first instance, and in the solution we are only having the primary and the secondary amine, and that can be also be separated by using this reaction. right? There are some more reaction of this particular amines if we are particularly concerned about that. This reaction is the Cope elimination reaction, and in case of Cope elimination reaction, you can see that basically this is a reaction of an amine oxide, and that you have synthesized by the oxidation method, right? So when you are having this N amine oxide, this on heating will undergo this elimination reaction, and in which you are getting an alkene and dimethyl hydroxylamine will be separated out. So this reaction is basically Cope elimination reaction, and this is a method of formation of alkene. When we are particularly talking about the summary, come to the summary of this particular amine, that method of preparation and its chemical reaction. So RNH2 can be synthesized by using this particular reaction, right? By using alkyl halide, and there are different methods. On your screen we have explained all these methods, what are different type of methods that can be utilized. This is another method by which you can prepare your amines, and these are the reactions of amines that it react differently with the different type of the reagents that are available. This is the previous one was the case of this aliphatic amine, and this one is the case of aromatic amines, in which you are getting different type of, this is the case of diazotization, and after diazonium salts you are getting different type of the products. So here you are getting these different type of the products. So this is the overall summary of this amine and its amine chemistry. So that's all about amine, and tomorrow we will discuss about the diazonium salt, and then nitro compounds, and finally infrared spectroscopy.